Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. Today we're doing chapter 17 of my hard difficulty playthrough for the Banner Saga 3. And in this chapter, this is our first chapter where we have the Raven squad, so the other half of our two caravan system here. First chapter dealt with the Arberrang home team, and now we have the Ravens advancing into the darkness. And by far, the Raven battles, the Raven chapters are much more difficult than the Arberrang ones because we don't have Alette with the overpowered Overwatch ability. This chapter is fairly short and pretty straightforward. There's just basically two battles, and that's all that there is to it. However, those two battles are very difficult because they are locked in a number of ways. In the first battle, you get introduced into a couple of new recruits that you can get, but they're pinned behind enemy lines. So you start the battle and they're part of your squad. So you're only allowed to bring in, I think it's 4 or 3, depending on a choice you made in the previous games. So you bring in a partial squad and the other part is provided to you, and you're split up. They're surrounded at the top of the map and your characters are coming in at the bottom of the map. So you need to prevent those guys from getting swarmed or they're going to get taken out very early. What I recommend you do is have those characters go first. So when you do get to select your turn order, those characters, which is Alfred and Valgard, and Eric, if you didn't bring him with you to Arberrang. If he's on your Alette Arberrang squad, he won't be there. If he didn't, if you let him return to Strand in your save file, or I think if you're doing a stock save file, he'll be there too. So then you'll have 3 and 3. And you want those 3 to go first because then they can go early and kind of pick one side, pick the weaker side, which is where you should set up your reinforcements. And so you can all go to one side and then meet in the middle. And then you've got your squad of 6 that you can use to kind of sweep back through the map and pick off the enemies. It is a bit of an introductory fight, so it's not hard on its face. But if you make poor decisions early, if you get behind in the health battle and the enemy starts hitting your health before you can start hitting theirs, it can be a difficult fight because of those limitations that we talked about. Hopefully you're coming in with a powered up Iver, and if so, he will be able to kind of carry you early on in this battle. The second fight is also very difficult because it takes place after an ambush. You don't get to set anything for this one. You don't get to set your lineup. You don't get to set your turn order. You don't get to set your positioning. I don't think for anybody. Maybe 1 or 2, maybe a couple of them are fixed and a couple can be moved, but you're stuck by that anyway, because if you have some characters that are fixed, you can't abandon them. You can't set up them by themselves and leave everyone else after. You have to kind of stick as a group and huddle up and keep your power concentrated. So that one is a very tough fight because on top of all of that, the ambush and the turns and the fixed position, it's also a potential wave battle. So if you don't finish off the enemy quickly enough, the enemy will get reinforcements, and then when the reinforcements show up, forget about it. You're going to be damaged, you're going to be injured, and if the reinforcements get there, it's going to be a really, really bad time and a really tough fight. Again, Eyvind can strike early, get his health built up if you've given him the, I think the Monster Hunter ability or heroic title, and if he's got his health getting up and up early, there are some weak characters he can take out for a kill. He can kind of control the battle and help carry you through this. Be careful, you are required to use both Eyvind and Juno, who are both very weak. They can easily be one-shot by most of the enemies that show up in the battle. So you need to protect them, and you need to have them not be an available target, because the enemy AI, if it can get a kill on its turn, it's almost always going to do so. So make sure that those guys are out of range or hidden behind somebody, or somehow you've boosted a juicier target to be closer to the enemy that's going to be going next. Once you get through that second battle, you'll be done with the chapter, and we'll move back over to Arberrang. So we'll pick up there in the next video. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.